I feel like my eyes could probably be farther apart.
I feel like they could be a bit more open as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Broverwatch podcast. My name is Adam Cook, and as always, I'm joined by Calder, Amos Wood. Calder, why are you crying, little boy?
Because you suck. I was gonna say something inappropriate, but then I don't want to do that.
You don't want to call me out for being mean before the podcast.
Yeah, you actually bullied me. I'm cooking a thing of pulled pork that I didn't know would take a really long time to cook. It's gonna take 2.5 hours to cook.
That's good. But at least once it's cooked, you'll go, yummy.
Or I'll cry.
Yeah, or you'll cry. Well, you were gonna do that anyway.
I had to go out and buy barbecue sauce too because it didn't come with the sauce, dude.
That's a little ridiculous. Oh, I've run out of toilet paper, so I've started using Kleenexes, but I'm almost out of Kleenexes.
Me too.
We're really good.
Wow, we're twins.
Wait, so you went out and bought barbecue sauce, but not toilet paper while you were out?
I completely slipped my mind, dude.
Good.
Just didn't even think about it.
So for those of you who don't know, the Broverwatch podcast is a podcast where two youngins...
Maybe you're young.
What? Yeah, I think you're literally like 2 months older than me.
Maybe you're young, dude.
Maybe you're young, dude. We talk about the Overwatch League and Overwatch news in general. So today we're going to talk about the opening week, or I guess opening weekend, and then talk about the games and how we felt. And then maybe we'll make some Quickie Predickies, huh?
Yeah, we'll see what happens if it's allowed.
Well, we'll see if you last that long. All right, so let's start things off.
I was falling asleep. We were talking about the Western's most boring type of movie, in a lecture, most boring type of class. How many other types of class are there? Don't know. Haven't calculated it yet.
You don't like Westerns? That's probably why you thought The Mandalorian was just okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't find it that interesting.
That's fine also. And
Doesn't sound like it's fine, Adam. Are you gonna cry?
And I think your Spaceman poster is dumb.
Like Star Wars.
And I think your Spaceman poster's dumb, and that's just an opinion, huh?
Jabba the Hutt, Jabba the Hutt.
That's what Star Wars fans do. They just go Jabba the Hutt, Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, that's all they know. I'm supposed to watch Star Wars. I should stop talking.
Finish the sentence, at least.
I'm supposed to watch Star Wars for my class, but she wants us to watch the original version, which is just not available anywhere.
I have it.
How?
These guys did a bunch of people got together, and it's called the despecialized edition, because they...
How do I get it?
I can give you a copy.
How do I get it?
I'll send you a link.
All right, let's start with the games.
We're starting with our... Nope, not... We literally discussed beforehand we weren't going to start with
First game, Hangzhou Chengdu. Who won?
Neither of them have played once yet.
I completely forgot the format.
It's okay. Agreed upon beforehand?
Yes.
It's okay. So first, let's just talk about the weekend itself. So we didn't have plans to watch it together, but then we ended up doing it anyway because it worked. So I went over to your place. We watched the games. What'd you think?
The New York production was really bad.
Mm.
I think we both pointed that out.
Mm.
I was watching it, and they're like, the CHEEZ-ITs are just
everywhere.
How much did they pay them to do that? Did they slip someone like a 20? Just, hey, put up CHEEZ-ITs whenever you want. It's fine.
How much did they pay them to literally put up a CHEEZ-ITs ad mid-team fight on Kings Row?
For like 25 seconds, too.
Yeah.
Because other times they do it for like, 10.
Wow, hot but making a difference.
5 to 10 seconds.
Wish I could see that happening.
Wish it wasn't the crunch moment of the week right now.
Yeah. So, what is it? Big flavor, big crunch. It's a mind crunch.
Yeah, I think
what a classic tagline.
Yeah. Some would say they don't even need to have that in the commercial because everyone knows it.
Yeah.
It's a mind crunch. It's like Chris Angel, you know?
Yeah.
Mind freak. You get mind freaked by the
That
cheese
would be a good promotion opportunity
in Overwatch League.
in
Chris
Overwatch
Angel.
League for Chris Angel to promote CHEEZ-ITs in the Overwatch League.
DJ Khaled 2.0.
Yeah. So yeah, the production at the New York one, I didn't. I mean,
I
don't think.
watched some of the other of the well, not some. I watched all the games, but like I paid close attention to two of them, and there were not as many mistakes in the Dallas
In the
one.
Dallas one, yeah, yeah. So the New York, apparently the New York event was really well run, but the broadcast was a little
Just
iffy.
so
It was just
strange.
there was like weird cuts. You could see the format name for videos that were about to be queued up. They on the analyst desk they'd cut to an ad mid sentence, then cut mid ad sentence back to the analyst desk talking, and then cut back to a different ad. And it's just like, what's going on?
It's like they had someone who was blind and deaf running the thing.
Yeah. So it's
So
like
no one could
when someone
communicate with
taps
them
them
at
on the
all.
shoulder, they know to
Oopsies.
press one of the buttons, but who knows which one. And people keep walking by and accidentally brushing against them, and they think they're supposed to switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's a very interesting. I'm sure they'll get it ironed out.
screechy, screechy.
Screechy,
That's my iron
screechy.
noise.
Yeah. That's the sound irons make.
Yeah.
Screechy, screechy.
Screechy, screechy.
I don't like it. Oh, you took away the E's.
Screechy, screechy.
And now you've
That's
changed
like
the
a
Y
Swedish
to an
iron.
A.
That's a Swedish iron.
Skircha, skircha.
That's actually what they call them in IKEA.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
So the production was mediocre. But for the most part, like
The New
games were
York
still
production
fine.
was mediocre.
Yeah.
Dallas was good.
And so let's talk about the talent, because the talent's had a bit of a change up, because the desk is new. Some new casters. Some casters are
Well,
gone.
a lot of new casters.
Yeah.
Most of the casters are new.
That's true. Yeah. So we still have Uber X. And then we now have Brennan Sideshow casting. We still have Wolf and Achilleos casting. Did they
didn't
cast at all
this
this weekend?
no.
Okay. Yeah, they were both on the desk. They were kind of rotating. But and then Hex
Jake and ZP.
Oh yeah, Jake and ZP, and then Hex and Jaws.
And then we had Cust on the desk. And
Cust
Reinforced back.
And Reinforced back, yeah. And so he was hosting. So I thought there was like this weird controversy where like who was it? John Spector like did an interview, and he was just like, he's like one of the heads of the Overwatch League, but he like did an interview where he was like, yeah, I feel like even though we got rid of a lot of talented talent, we feel like overall for what we want, it's stronger this year. And like I watched the interview and I was like, yeah, because he said like these are all people who like live and breathe Overwatch, and like you don't need to spend like a ton of money on like these quote unquote tier 1 like talent when there's people who will do just as good, if not a better job, who are like chomping at the
Really
bit just to do it,
Overwatch.
right?
Yeah.
And then there was a big controversy where like a bunch of the previous talent was like trash talking John Spector and like calling him disingenuous and being like, how could you talk about the talent this way? They committed time. It's like, no, he was just saying it's good now.
I mean, if he said for what they wanted, right?
He didn't specifically talk about salaries or anything.
No,
you
like
mean for what they wanted the
wanted
league to
to
look
do.
like? Yeah.
Yeah. So
But like I
that's
think
how they want it to look.
it was like Monty came out and was like,
I don't care what Monty says.
he's been very salty. Semler came out and said stuff. Susie Kim came out and said stuff. Malik seems to be the only one who like has had a peaceful exit, because he was just like, yeah, they just didn't pay me as much as I wanted, so I left. And it's like, okay, and he's still fine. But everyone else is like, their vision is clouded and they don't get it. And it's like, okay, dude.
It's just here's the thing: if you leave Monty, I'm talking directly to him because I know he's talking.
He's watching, of course.
If you leave Overwatch League, because they don't pay you enough, you don't have to keep talking about it anymore.
That's true.
Complaining about it. Doesn't really matter, does it? Because it's just a sport.
Now, on that point, he also is allowed to still talk about it.
Yeah, he is, but like it also doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like for his own personal it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's computer games.
I just was hearing about all this controversy where it's like this person reacts to John Spector's comments, this person. It was just all these talent people, and they're all like disingenuous, they're discrediting, blah blah blah. And then I watched the interview and saw the comment that like they were referencing, and I was like, I would not have seen that as like a jab if I watched it without knowing people got upset. He literally was just like,
is it on Reddit or something?
It was a YouTube. It was an interview. I don't know. I can find it for you.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's honestly, this is a dumb thing to talk about because it was the opening weekend and there's so much better stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. I can't help but feel like that it was partially like controversy just to like, I don't know, take away from the new launch or season, not new launch. Yeah. But anyway. But the new talent was good. I thought Bren and Sideshow, like, obviously have good chemistry and are very exciting to listen to. I think ZP has always been very good, and it's good to see him in the Overwatch League. Jake is obviously a great personality. I thought Hex and Jaws had pretty good synergy. Obviously, they'll get better.
I feel like, it's the first weekend, and Sideshow and Bren and Hex and Jaws are going to get a lot better.
Yeah.
Jake Uber and X were good. Jake will get better. Yeah. But it was the first weekend, and everything was good enough, you know? The games were fun. They were much more entertaining knowing that we weren't playing useless maps. Yeah. Essentially useless maps.
Now, we did... Yeah. Now, you and I didn't watch much of The Desk just because
we would do
other stuff in between games. But from what I could tell and from what I watched afterwards, it seems like The Desk was good. It seems like, as expected, both Custa and Reinforce have absolute Pepega takes on everything. Of course, Custa predicted that Valiant would beat Vancouver.
I mean, it was a close-ish.
I wouldn't say it was close.
I know it's a 3-0, but they were much closer than it actually.
I mean, I'd hesitate to call it close, but Valiant put up a fight.
I guess if that's not close to you, if putting up a fight is not close, but
I mean on Anubis, both capped both points, but then Vancouver full held.
Yeah, but it was a little closer than that.
One moment that was good in I think it was the Boston. We're kind of going all over the place here, but the Boston versus New York game was Swimmer tried to 1v1 Jonak and then just got destroyed. It's like, get in your place, little rookie boy.
Ew. It's kind of creepy the way you said that.
Anyway, so I thought that all the talent was very good, and I'm probably going to pay more attention to The Desk throughout the season. Now, so overall successful weekend. The most just the production was bad. Oh, YouTube. I thought what pissed me off. You and I talked about this.
Better.
It pissed us off because within 20 minutes, like when there was production issues, everyone was like, "Wow, this sucks. Go back to Twitch." And it's like not at all YouTube's fault.
It wasn't YouTube's problem at all.
You think YouTube's being on the platform of YouTube is making them switch things at the wrong times? Yeah. That's definitely.
But the stream, for me at least, performed a lot better.
Yeah, the stream was very good. The chat, I mean, I don't usually look at chat anyway. You could argue that like Twitch chat kind of has its own culture with like all of its custom emotes.
But they also just kind of did it on YouTube, so
people just said you just have to read PogChamp instead of seeing PogChamp. But I don't know. Yeah, I thought it was good. There's two things. a plus side that we didn't get before was it's very easy to rewind. So if we just wanted to see something again, we could just rewind. That's really nice.
Twitch sucked for that.
Yeah. And then it's
Absolute
also very
trash,
good for
boys.
like it's much. I feel like VOD review's just better because you can just or not VOD review, just watching the previous.
Well, yeah,
matches.
because they post them all and it's in YouTube. Twitch, VOD players, absolute shit.
Yeah, this you can actually like skim through, and I don't know, it's like immediately uploaded. It's really nice. But two things that I wish they had was one, the all access pass, so you could choose which perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing we'll get that at some point throughout the season. And then also the ability to clip things like really quick, because I feel like that was a lot of. It's really easy to clip something on Twitch and then share it, and not only will that reach a lot of eyes, but it'll also bring a lot of eyes to the Twitch channel, so that more people are interested, and it's just a really easy way to send highlights. Most of the highlights we only saw from people going back and screen recording, right? And that's kind of tedious and annoying. So I miss clips, like being able to clip things easily.
Yeah, the clips is kind of a big thing.
I think I'd rather the clips than the all access pass, if I'm being honest.
I kind of care about all access pass, but I also didn't use all access pass at all last year because I just thought the layout was so dumb. Like it didn't look good. The mainstream was I don't know. I just didn't like
90% of the screen was taken up by like the Overwatch League logo, and then another like 5% was the players on the side, and then there's a tiny little screen to watch the game. It's like
it was just.
But I really want clips. That's probably my main critique. But overall, the broadcast was good, and I thought being on YouTube was just fine. I think they should make it slightly. I mean, YouTube said that they're working on it, but just make it easier to find the streams because they don't really have a YouTube live page.
Yeah, the YouTube streams are so just disgustingly bad to find.
Luckily, if you have two brain cells, you know that if you search Overwatch League on YouTube, you'll probably find the stream. But still, it would be nice if they had a page.
Subscribed, it barely
yeah
indicates it when it's live.
So there's some improvements, but overall, it's fine. The broadcast was fine, other than the like stuff on Blizzard's end.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about that's not the games?
Oh, I do want to quickly give Sideshow a shout out because not only is he casting, but he's also
listening right now too.
Yeah. But he's also been posting a lot of content on his personal YouTube channel, both like analysis, discussions about certain topics, but also he's been posting interviews with players, which I feel like we don't get a ton of, and some of the stuff we do get, it's like, how's it feel being a video game player? How does it feel being on your team? You're really good. How does it feel to be really good? And it's like not great questions, but Sideshow's like asking very intellectual questions as someone who knows a lot about it. So it was good. It was good. Like he asked Super, he's like, how do you go about playing certain strategies knowing that it's likely that other teams, since you're the best team, will adopt those strategies and like basically steal them? And I'm like, I didn't even think about that question, but it was very insightful hearing Super talk about it, and it was cool. So shout out to Sideshow, because I think if anybody he's probably the most dedicated to the Overwatch League out of any other talent, I'd say.
Sideshow?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know. You listen to a lot more Plaid chat than I do.
That's true. Anyway, so that's it. Want to move on to the games, little boy?
Is your internet bad?
No.
Are you getting... Well, it says mine's not either, but you keep cutting out.
Oh, well.
Am I cutting out at all?
No.
I guess you wouldn't know. I'm not talking very much. That's weird.
Anyway, and also, me cutting out generally doesn't matter for the podcast.
I guess it just means I can't hear half the stuff you're saying.
Oh, is it still really bad right now?
It's still cutting out a little bit.
Oh, that's good. All right, let's move on to the games, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so the first little bit was, or on the first day, we had Toronto versus Paris as the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta say, I was impressed by both teams.
You like both teams?
Yeah, I thought Paris did way better than I thought they would.
Mm-hmm.
And then Toronto won, so I predicted them to win, but still, I thought that their first map was rough, but I thought that Beast gained a lot of confidence throughout the maps and did better.
Yeah.
I thought that Kareev
After
and
Control, they
Surefour
looked
did
like a
well.
whole new team.
Yeah, and then Logix popped off near the end, doing real well. So I thought overall Toronto impressed me, and Paris surprised me. I thought Eggsy or XCI.
I'm gonna hang up and call you again because it's really bad.
Here he goes. Huh? Hey, wow, wee wah, Jimmy.
It was really bad.
Is it better now though?
It seems like it's better, but we'll see.
All right. So Eggsy was probably Eggsy and FD God were probably the highlights of Paris.
Yeah. And they were, I feel like they were kind of, not super practiced in what they were playing either. Against Toronto, at least they looked a lot better against London.
Yeah,
on Sunday. But
I think it's because
the two main tanks thing was,
Smex
seemed like they were a little unpracticed in it.
Yeah. My guess is just like because Smex was sick, so he didn't show up, so they didn't really have an off tank, so they were running double main tank, and it worked a little bit. I think it caught Toronto off guard, which is probably what messed up the first map for Toronto.
Well, their comp with on Control was a lot better than it would have been on the other ones because they were it's just such a slow comp that they were playing.
Yeah.
But Eggsy looked amazing all weekend.
Yeah.
I was watching the Paris-London game, and he popped off in that game too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. This team's going to be very good when they get everyone
when they
and actually have like their starting lineup. Or even just Smex, so they have a real off-tank.
That's true. I saw a good post that was like, not only does Paris's new talent look really good, but their old talent looks better. Like, Ben Best actually looked pretty good for what he played.
Yeah.
Which is weird because everyone was like, why would you still have Ben Best on the roster? He's dog trash. And then he's actually pretty decent. So I think not only is the new talent impressing me, but the old talent has stepped it up.
And Nico wasn't like popping off or anything too often. He might have had like...
He had some good May walls.
But yeah, he was playing very well. Even though he wasn't getting every single kill feed update thing.
Yeah.
Hype was good, you know.
Gray was good also.
Played as well as you could. Well, actually, no, that's not true. He did enough for them to win.
As good as he could would be the best.
Yeah. Yeah, you can always play better. But.
Yeah. But and then Toronto, I thought we were kind of talking about how their roster's not big, but their roster is flexible. So they have they don't have roster flexibility, but they have player flexibility.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that they started with Logic's agilities, which seemed to be working fine. I'm assuming everyone was just a little bit nervous because this is a fully new squad. Nevix did pretty well. I don't think he had like any massive crazy moments other than like eating a blizzard here and there. Kellex didn't really have any like crazy moments, but also it's been one game.
And it's hard for a main sport to have a crazy moment, you know?
Yeah.
Especially like on Moira. Slow tick damage isn't too exciting.
And it was one game. Like I saw a couple people being like, man, considering how hyped up he was, Nevix really disappointed. And I'm like, he hasn't had a chance to do anything.
Also, he didn't disappoint, though. Like, just because he didn't get 8 6K bombs doesn't mean it's disappointing, you know?
Yeah. And honestly,
just playing.
People were, like, super doubting Beast going into this. And he kind of fed a little bit on the first map, but he also hasn't played... I mean, he's been scrimming recently, but he hadn't played Overwatch professionally in a little bit, and He's pretty young, and he's also
I think
probably
the
pretty
team's good
nervous.
on a whole.
But
I think Toronto's good, and they'll
stepped it
just
up.
keep getting better as they practice more.
I want to see
And-
both of these teams face better teams
Yeah.
before I make
Yeah,
a judgment call.
Paris only played London, and London's good, but they're not like an amazing team in the league this year.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, let's move on to the next game. Speaking of London versus New York. What I didn't like about this is they hyped it up as if it was like this crazy rivalry because London won stage 1 against New York, and then they won the first season when everyone thought New York would. And they were like showing highlights from those things, but it was all players that aren't on London anymore.
Yeah,
London's
even
a new
Krillin.
team.
Krillin's was on the team last year, and nothing happened between these two teams last year that I can remember that was actually meaningful.
Yeah, so they were like, this is going to make their blood's boiling, they're getting ready. And I'm like, none of these people care, I don't think.
I mean,
Like,
they both
wanna
want to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like they're like, ooh, we really got to get them.
Yeah.
This is the team we got to beat.
It's just weird advertising for a kind of nothing game.
Yeah. But London also
was
did better than
entertaining,
we
though.
expected a little bit. With their new players, like Bernard was pretty good.
Yeah. The whole London team was pretty good.
Yep,
they're-
Glister was very impressive.
Yeah. I feel like they're going to do a little better than where we put them because we put them like bottom quarter, bottom third in our power rankings. And I feel like they might do better. But also, there's got to be teams that also lose. So,
Well, we mentioned this in our power rankings things, but like, I feel like any of the teams that we put, like, I feel like any team, maybe aside from Boston, but honestly, even them, could come out of nowhere and perform in the top half. Like, I feel like there's no one where I'm like, there's no way they're in the top half.
I don't think London will be. I think they're going to be one of those teams that is like good and competitive, but also doesn't win all the time. The games might be close, but they also can only win a handful of games.
Yeah. Something that Hotba was nuts. I know some people were like, oh, Meko's gone. But then now everyone's like, oh no, Hotba's real good. So that's good. And then Who Are You played quite a bit, which you and I were talking about how we were hoping Who Are You would play, but we didn't know if he would. Mm-hmm. And I'm really happy to see that they are playing him. It looks like they kind of learned from the Flower thing where it's like, you can't not play him all season and then play him in like the last map of the like season deciding thing and then be like, oh, it's your fault. Because that's not really
I'm glad
fair.
that he got to play.
Yeah, and he did well too.
And it was nice to see someone new. I don't think Libero played at all this weekend.
Did he? I think that Who Are You played every one against London. Yeah, I feel like did Libero not even play?
No, Libero didn't play at all against Boston. I don't think he played against London.
Well, that's
London
good
either.
for my fantasy because I have Who Are You on my team.
Yeah, I guess. They're also playing two of the perceived bottom two teams, so it could just be them like trying stuff out.
That's true.
And it's the start of the season, so the games matter slightly less.
That's true. All right, next game we headed over to Dallas for Gladiators versus Vancouver. Mm-hmm. I predicted Gladiators for this, and it was close.
You picked Gladiator? Yeah, it was close.
I was surprised to see LH Cloudy play the first couple maps. I don't think OG didn't come in till Dorado, and then he left again for Li Jiang. So OG only played one map.
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Especially since they're playing such a good team. I think they'd start OG. Because they... Actually, I guess they're not playing, so... Again, they didn't play again this weekend, so... It still doesn't make it too much sense to me.
Obviously there's a lot of intricacies that we're probably missing, but to me it seems like they won the first map, and then they lost the next two, and they were like, shoot, Vancouver's about to win, we got to do something, and then they pulled out OG and won the map, and they were like, nice, we did it, let's put LH Cloudy back in, and then they lost.
Yeah. Well, they also brought Mir in when they brought OG and Andrado.
That's true.
But they might have some sort of strategy that just didn't work out
Yeah, it
with
was a
their
close game.
players.
I'm really hoping that that it was an intentional thing and it wasn't like OG getting nervous or them being like, we don't know about OG, because the two things, the main thing that people have been concerned about for Gladiators this season is that they have some not flaky players, but players that haven't been consistently
Just
motivated.
inconsistent players.
Like Birdring and OG last season both like took it upon themselves to sit out for a bit, which if that happened here, I mean, if it happened here, they'd still have a roster to field. That's probably like one of the top ones, but still.
I mean, OG would definitely hit them hard. Their DPS is, from what I saw, the weakest part of this team. That's not me saying they're the bottom tier shit, but like they were clearly the weakest part, even with LH Cloudy in, to me.
Yeah.
So,
well, Cloudy's
we'll see
not
how
bad.
this team
I feel
does.
like Cloudy might also. I feel like Cloudy might also do better on a better roster, because last time he was on Paris, and Paris wasn't very good last season. So.
Yeah, so they probably just need to work some stuff out, practice a little consistency, practice some crazy strats, and we'll see. But they played really well not fielding their starting roster because they didn't play Mir, and everyone kind of thought Mir would play, I believe.
Yeah.
That was kind of the
concession stand.
Yep, that's exactly what I wanted to say. Vancouver, I was
surprised that Stitch played. Not because I didn't think he could. I thought that they should play Stitch, but he didn't play basically at all last season, so I didn't think that they'd play him. But they did, and he's good still.
Did they play Jaehong at all against the Gladiators?
I don't know if they did.
They played him on a Hanamura, just Hanamura.
Okay, they played him on Hanamura.
I don't know. I still find that pickup weird.
It's a little weird.
Maybe it's like a Fissure, Jaehong. I don't think it is though. Like, maybe they just wanted to play together again. But
I don't know. There's a point where, Jaehong like nanoed Hacksaw and Hacksaw went nuts, and then they cut to the like live action. They cut to like the players at their PCs, and Hacksaw went over and like thanked Jaehong. Jaehong was just like, yeah. And I don't know, that was nice. I feel like we need more moments like that where they're actually showing players.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. I thought that Vancouver, I don't know. It was one of those things where I was like, why did I think Vancouver wouldn't be good? And I think Fissure has a more dedicated mindset. Like in his interview, Sideshow was like, hey, like, what's your main goal for this season? Is it to win it all, and beat the Shock in the end? What's the goal? And then he was just like, my main goal is not to be on a different team next season. And I'm like, okay, he gets it. So I'm hoping that he's now very dedicated, and I'd honestly I'd be fine with Vancouver doing very well this season.
Yeah, I mean, what does that even mean? I'd be fine if you're not fine.
Well, no, just because a lot of people have been like, why would they pick up Jaehong? Ooh, Fissure's unreliable, myself included. And I feel like there's just this idea that's like they're gonna suck. I'm like, well, maybe.
I mean, they still could suck. They've played 2 games, but
I think what we said before is probably true, that like this team winning will likely be off the backs of their players, not their coaching. Where it's like they're just winning because their players are so good.
Yeah, they do probably have. They're one of the most talented teams in the league.
Excuse me.
But I think there's other teams that might have better cohesion, which we'll see if that actually matters at all throughout the season. But for me right now, it matters.
Yeah. All right, and then the next game at Dallas was Valiant versus Dallas. Uh,
Dallas is, I think, better than they.
this
I
was
feel
more of
like
a
I thought
3-2
they were
game.
gonna be.
This was basically a 3-2 game as far as like closeness goes.
Yeah.
It's very close. Like, shoot, which map was it? I want to say it was Horizon. Yeah, Horizon was very close, I think. Um,
Yeah. I watched this game today, and it was all pretty close. KSP and um, why am I forgetting? Decay.
McGrady.
It's Decay, right?
Oh, Decay, yeah.
Yeah, KSP and Decay were kind of fighting to carry each other's teams. KSP just kind of won.
Hmm.
That's not me saying that the rest of the team was absolute shit, but it kind of came down to what DPS was gonna play better, KSP or Decay. KSP won in the end, and Dallas also had a pretty hard weekend.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was
Valiant
strange.
was better than I think most people thought they were gonna be.
Like last year for the homestands, they generally planned it so that the hosting team played the worst teams.
Yeah.
Maybe it just worked out that way because I guess there was no way to really predict it at the beginning of the season. But
yeah,
Dallas facing, I mean, I guess they probably put them against Valiant, thinking, hey, maybe they'll at least win one. But Valiant actually came out on top and kind of pulled it out.
I feel like Dallas could be a London-like team where they're close in a lot of games, but they also just don't win a lot.
Yeah,
because they're a good team. But maybe they just can't close out the games that they're playing because of youngness or something,
Yeah.
Games was a good leader, but that also.
I saw a comment that was like, new Dallas fans got excited and then disappointed. Old Dallas fans knew they were going to be disappointed, so they didn't get excited. Veteran Dallas fans knew they were going to be disappointed, but got excited anyway because they hate themselves. And I'm like, that's funny.
Did you laugh out loud? Did you lol?
No, I went,
Lol with Miley Cyrus and Demi
that's
Moore?
funny. I said that's funny out loud alone in my room.
Cringe.
That's cringe. Saying
That's
cringe
really
is cringe.
Uh,
So that was the end of the first day.
Yeah. The first day of Dallas. We already did the second day of New York, so.
No, we didn't.
Yikes by you.
We didn't do the second
did.
day in New York.
Did we not?
We very briefly just mentioned Boston, but we didn't do London, Paris.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I think going into this, most people, I feel like if you looked at this preseason, most people would probably have said London. Am I wrong?
I don't know. I didn't do a straw poll.
Good point. I was just throwing it maybe
I feel like
that
it's
out
kind
there.
of I feel like it was kind of a toss up preseason.
Yeah, maybe.
Because London's a completely different team.
But
and
then it was a
Paris
3-0.
is. Yeah, well, Paris is. Iggsy's a lot better than I think a lot of people thought he was going to be. Like they knew he was going to be good, but they didn't know he was going to absolutely carry the team on his back.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I guess that's the difference. Paris has Eggsy, and London, although their players are good, don't have a carrier. Or I guess they have Glister, don't they?
Well, Glister's good and everything, and it was a close game, but Eggsy was just able to actually close out everything for this team that didn't really have someone that could close out team fights for them.
Yeah.
Or even just like bring them back into team fights when it seemed like they couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Iggsy was able to just like completely turn around team fights when it seemed illogical to even try.
We hated Paris last season.
Well, that's because they were like they're the best goats team. They're the best, and then they weren't even
and
close.
then they were never good at anything. But yeah, for some reason we had an anger and hatred towards Paris. But Paris is one of the teams I'm most intrigued by for this season, I think.
Yeah,
Because
think that
I was expecting them just to crash and burn again, but maybe not.
I thought they would be all right at the start of the season. Now, here's the thing: they also haven't played super great opponents. Toronto is. We don't really know how good Toronto is, but they're not top 4.
Yeah,
London isn't either.
that's true.
So if they play New York and get crushed, or like play Atlanta and get crushed, then we'll know where Paris is. But right now, they look like a pretty good team with a very good young star and 2 more coming in. 3 months. 2 to 3 months, 4 months. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's the main thing. And I guess this is a positive. This weekend has mostly just made me excited to watch more, which I guess is the main point. That's what they want.
I just clicked on the next weekend, and it's only the Philadelphia homestand now.
Yeah, it's because it was
they took all the China ones out.
Yeah,
even week 3.
they have to reschedule them.
I guess we're gonna get a lot of Overwatch for a couple weeks there.
Apparently, they're thinking of doing online matches because they don't know where to play them. If they still had the Blizzard Arena, they could probably just ship everybody over there, but
that costs too much just to keep that in case of a coronavirus, which no one knew was going to come.
Guys, there might be a Chinese virus, so let's still pay rent and utilities at this
massive facility.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. And then, all right, Boston versus New York went about as expected.
Yeah.
Color Hex kind of popped off a little bit, but
Boston's a fine team. I also don't think they know like what they're gonna do because they played Axiom and Fusions the whole time. They didn't even like try. Oh, actually, no, they played Muffin later on.
They played Muffin for one game.
Idiot. Yeah, but I don't know why they were playing double main tank when they didn't have to, or maybe they thought they had to.
Yeah.
But this game against New York, like you want to come out and play well, obviously, but also you're not gonna win, and everyone knows that.
Yeah.
So maybe just try some of your new guys, which they did with Swimmer and Miyumbong and Munchkin. Munchkin's not really a new guy.
They did bring in Swimmer and Muffin. So,
but I don't know. I would have tried a lot more if I was Boston because don't they have like 12 people on their roster?
Yeah, they did. They didn't even play Jerry, for example.
Yeah. So why are you picking these guys up if you're not going to play them at all?
Yeah,
that's my thing. Is what I
good thing.
Could say. Here's my thing.
But yeah, this was about as expected. But to be fair, like we're saying, like Paris was really impressive playing against Toronto and London. And then we're going, wow, Boston sucks going against New York. That's not really fair.
I feel like if Boston and Toronto played,
it would be closer.
It'd be kind of the same result as Paris. Maybe a little less because Iggy was very good. But
I will say, like I said earlier, I think Boston is the only team where I'm like, I don't think. Maybe London, but like I don't think they could finish in the top half. Like I think most teams have the potential to, but I feel like Boston and maybe London don't. Like maybe they could squeeze into 12th place, get into those play-ins if they like have some turnaround. But I say some turnaround. It's been 2 days of games, so
literally 2 hours of them playing.
Yeah.
So
I do find it funny how like the teams that lost are now at the bottom of the standings, below all the teams that haven't played at all. I know that's how math works, but I just find it funny.
Yeah, I said this twice today.
Okay.
But I think Boston's also another team where like they'll be competitive. I think there's a lot of teams that'll be competitive but not win. I don't think there's going to be like a Shanghai or who was the bottom team last? There wasn't really a bottom team last season.
Kind of Florida, Washington.
But then Florida played well at the end.
And then Washington played well at the end. But I'm going to do a visual demonstration.
Of what?
So I feel like this is the top of the teams right here. This is the bottom of the teams. Let's say last season, okay? I feel like this season it's kind of gone like this. It's kind of like where like the worst is like at this level now.
This is good for audio.
Basically, for the audio listeners, I raised my bottom hand. Basically, I'm saying like I feel
The
like the
floor in the
skill
league has come
floor
up.
has gone up. Yeah. I feel like
Yeah, at least for now, until there's some absolutely horrendous team.
I feel like the worst team this season, I mean, I'm saying this very early. I feel like there's potential for the worst team this season to be better than like the bottom 5 last season.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just a random thing to say that means nothing. But I said
You
it.
cut out, so I didn't hear you. So,
Nice, really good.
we should move on to Dallas. How long
We're
have we
in
been going
Dallas
for?
now.
80
About
hours?
45, so it'll be fine. All right. Now we're in Dallas. Valiant versus Vancouver. Seems about right. 3-0 for Vancouver.
This game was a lot closer than the score says.
Yeah. Still,
Um,
outcome is expected, but yeah, Valiant obviously coming out and
Yeah.
impressing.
I think my biggest takeaway is that Valiant looks better than I thought they would.
Mm,
And I think that's mostly because of KSP.
yeah.
KSP is a lot better than I thought he would be.
Mm.
And, Gig is like their whole team is pretty good, but KFC is like a shining star on this team.
KFC.
We're just going to end it.
But yeah, Vancouver obviously did well because they're Vancouver. But yeah, I think that was probably my takeaway from the weekend as well, at least as far as games goes. My biggest takeaway was, man, they need to figure out production and get these CHEEZ-ITs out of my face. But man, what a mind crunch. But as far as games go, the biggest takeaway was that Valiant's much better than people had anticipated. There's a bunch of people pretending that they were always on the Valiant train, being like, I never doubted them. And it's like, yes, you did, little piece of trash.
Everyone doubted them.
Yeah. But yeah, there's not much more to say about the game. McGravy also impressed.
He had
this
a
weekend,
good bomb.
He had a good bomb. Yeah. Last game, Shock versus Dallas. This was also a very close game. Closer than it says. The which map was it? There was one map that almost went Havana. Nope, not Havana. That one was a bit of a crusher. One of the maps was very close.
I mean, Eichenwald was pretty close.
But yeah.
They almost both full capped it.
Yeah.
But then Shock put an end to that one real quick.
What was cool about this game was Architect played Ana.
Yeah. And I thought it was just going to be like a one map or maybe 2 map thing, but it was the whole game.
Yeah.
Which also kind of worries me a little bit, because why not play the guy who was one of the best in the league last season?
Well, I think because he mostly played Ana the whole time. Apparently, they were just playing in scrims, and they realized that Architect's Ana was really good. So,
What about the guy they pay to do that?
well, you could argue that with Rascal last season too. It's like, why not?
Well, that's a little different because you needed 3
Oh, that's
healers.
true. That's true. But I think that's what I like about Shock, is that they try new things and are so flexible that they don't mind playing 3 DPS if one of the DPS is better at a specific hero than one of their healers.
Yeah, I just found it weird.
Yeah, it's weird, but it worked. And I think being against Dallas.
What do you think they're gonna fucking lose?
No.
Look at these fucking guys. They're a bunch
Well,
of
that's
schmucks.
what I was gonna say. I think playing against Dallas was a good place to test that, because I don't think like you go up against Vancouver and be like, hey, maybe we play Architect on Ana. So I think playing against Dallas was a good way to test this, and now they know that it can work.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And Dallas played a lot of well, not a lot, but they played actually, yeah, kind of a lot. They played Gamsu Trill instead of Gamsu Note, because Gamsu Note didn't really work the last game they played against why am I forgetting? Valiant? Yeah, they played Valiant. It didn't really work that well against Valiant, which is actually kind of important.
Yeah.
But also it's not really in this meta, because double shield works all right if you're good.
Yeah, they played Note on one map. They played them on Horizon, which is the one that they won.
Shock was also really bad on that map, though.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, they just couldn't fight. They were terrible at fighting. But on Dallas, I think my biggest positive is Decay. Decay looks very good.
Yeah, he looks better. I mean, it's been 2 games, but he looks better here than he did on Gladiators.
Yeah. And
I think Doha complements him well as well. I think that if Dallas is going to exceed, or I guess succeed and exceed expectations, then I think it'll probably be on the back of Decay and Doha.
They should play Unco, though, so I can get some fantasy points at some point.
I don't know. Crimso's pretty good.
Play Unco.
Not my decision.
Let's see if I got any fantasy points.
I don't think it's been updated. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Apparently, Blizzard took down, like, their updating, like, player database of, like, points. I think it's called, like, API. So now all these fantasy leagues have to, like, either figure out a new way to get the data, or it'll just, like, always be delayed. Because now that they have the stats lab, they got rid of the old way, and now it doesn't update as fast. Or something like that. So that's part of why we didn't get our fantasy stuff.
Absolutely. It just grinds my gears.
Grinds my gears.
I want to see how much I'm losing to... Who am I playing? Ednar? I think I'm playing Ednar.
Nice. All right, you ready for some quickie?
No, I'm playing Booger.
Oh. You ready for some quickie predickies?
We'll see.
Do the song.
Do we predict the China games too?
Nope, do the song.
Quickie Predickies.
There you go.
That was pretty good.
That was really good. All right, so week 2, we won't predict the China games because they're not happening. Unless there's some update.
Please.
We're recording this Monday, so that if
I don't think there's going to be an update.
No, me neither. But
they're not going to be able to organize that event in a week.
Just in case, if there's games that played online, we will not be predicting those. All right, so there's only 4 to do, and then we'll wrap this up. So Florida versus Houston. What are your? Or I guess I count down, and then we each say one, right?
Yeah.
Florida versus Houston. Do I count down?
Houston.
I'm gonna say Houston. Actually,
well, usually you go Florida versus Houston, and then we go,
yeah. It's bah, 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 like that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Florida versus Houston. Florida.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting. I guess you don't really like your team anymore, huh?
I want Houston to win.
You don't really care for them? You don't care for your team?
Fine, Houston. Fine, Houston then. Fine.
I guess he's throwing a temper tantrum now.
Washington, Philly.
Washington.
Wow.
Actually, no, Philly's actually a much better choice.
I was about to call you a fanboy.
I was thinking last season, and then I was like, that's not this season because Philly has actually done things.
Agreed. Yeah, so probably Philly. Washington, Houston.
Washington.
Ooh, wow. Fanboy. That was a joke.
Wasn't funny.
I think Washington and Houston are in similar situations as far as rosters go, where they've got talent. I just feel like Houston has slightly more flexibility, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, Washington won't have one of their tanks because of visa issues still, which
that's true. But they do have Roar though, so
they can play Roar instead. I think. So.
Yeah. Florida versus Philly. Philly.
Florida's getting their ass absolutely blasted this weekend.
You think so? I don't know. I think they could beat Houston. We'll see. All right, those are the quickie predickies. That's it. That's done.
Bam.
So, want to do the theme song again or no?
I don't really want to give them that many. No. And I'm gonna sue you.
Okay. Yeah, I stole your property.
Do you want to get sued?
No.
Sorry. I'm gonna take all your fucking money, pussy.
Well, you're not gonna get much. Don't have much.
I'm gonna take all your action figures.
Please don't.
I'm gonna sell them on eBay for $12 million.
Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody for listening. This was the Broverwatch podcast, episode 84. I think.
I'm thinking 69, baby.
I wish. I wish every episode was episode 69. Whoa, my mouth. Those are some cute winks you're doing right now. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to like it and maybe comment letting us know why we're wrong about things. And then if you subscribe to the channel, maybe if you're on any of the podcatchers.
Ask us if we're connected to Overwatch League.
Oh, yeah, we got a comment in the last episode saying, are you guys connected to Overwatch League in any way? No.
Or that might have been her. Could be a her. Insulting us.
Could have been.
It could have been like, are you guys connected? But like, that's not how you say that, though.
I think it was that, though. I think it was like, are you guys even connected to the Overwatch League? Why would I care if you weren't?
But who says connected for that? Which is...
I don't know.
Fuck that guy.
Not true. Hey, if you're listening, welcome back. All right, thank you everybody for watching and listening. Appreciate the support. We're glad to be back. We're looking forward to more Overwatch League, and hopefully the broadcast gets a little ironed out a bit more. And give me clips. I want clips.
Nah, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Child.
All right, we'll catch you next time. Bye, everybody.
Child.
Didn't think you'd actually leave.
Well, it's over.
It is over.
The podcast is over.
The whole podcast?
Yeah, I'm done with you. You're a pervert.
Okay. Well,
we both know
have to shout that to the
I'm going to put my servers in India. Is that what you want?
No.
Okay.